Hello, everyone. Hello. Uh, Marhaba, because I know that we have a lot of people joining from different places. My name is Lara Assi. I am originally Lebanese and I'm based in London for the moment. And I have dabbled into the world of Web3 a couple of years ago, and I was really intimidated by the tech jargon. So the first thing that I wanted to do is to translate that tech into English, as they say, and try to explain what these technologies are to my friends and family without using any tech. And that's how I started helping people onboard themselves into Web3. I started my Web3 journey more into in immersive technologies, augmented realities, broadcasting, and whatnot. And then I moved more into different technologies. One of them is NFTs, which is something that I'm very passionate about, especially because of the possibilities it can bring to the creative industry. And I've been doing a little bit this and that, as they say in the Middle East. I've helped curate and execute the first Web3 summit in Jordan, actually, a couple of months ago. And it was really successful, but we also found people a little bit intimidated from the technicalities. So I think, Heike, this course came at the right moment, to be honest, as a lot of people are interested in NFTs, but they're a bit intimidated by their technicalities. So here we are, here we go. NFTs explained. I'm gonna just break down a little bit what the course is gonna be about and how we're gonna manage our time discussing these different verticals. So absolutely, there's nothing, we cannot start with explaining what NFTs are without going back to blockchain fundamentals because they are the home of NFTs. So after that, we're going to talk about what are NFTs, how do they work. We're going to go into the journey of the history of NFTs and talk about the first NFT that was minted in 2014, the queen of them all. We're going to talk about the use cases of NFTs. How can we utilize NFTs and incorporate them either into our business model or our how to monetize our creative artwork. And there's nothing, creative industry, it all bleeds down to intellectual property, IP. So we're going to talk about that and how NFTs relate to that. Then brush up on a couple of NFT marketplaces, talk about their pros and cons. And last but not least, we're going to take the audience on a journey of how to create and sell NFTs on OpenSea, which is the most famous NFT marketplace. So let's start. We're going to talk about the blockchain, which I call the magic ledger. Why is it magic? Now we're going to dive in. So let's think of a blockchain as a ledger. It's a digital book of record that is transparent, secure, and unchangeable. We're going to talk about how it is transparent, why it is that secure, and how it's unchangeable or immutable. Now, think of walking into a gallery, but that's a digital gallery. So when you walk into the gallery, you can see all of the artwork displayed. You can see them, everyone can see them, but no one can tamper with them, no one can change them. So it's like walking into that virtual gallery. Now, don't be intimidated at all by this visual. We're going to just talk about how blockchain works. So let's picture together how this technology works. Now, let's think of this as a chain with blocks, and each block is transparent. We can all look into that block and see what information there is in. Now, each block holds a certain piece of information that we can all see, and every block is represented by a unique hash. Now, you'll be asking, what is a hash? So, at its core, hashing is a mathematical process that takes an input, a data, and produces a fixed sized string of characters called a hash. Now, um, why do you care? Why do we care about hashing? Now, I just gave you a small example here to understand how things work on a blockchain. If we want to input a text, which is, for example, NFTs will rule the world because I do believe they will. The hash function would take this text, these letters, and translate them through a mathematical process into numbers and letters. This is hashing. And these numbers and letters are a digital fingerprint, meaning that if I change one letter, like in the second line, NFTs will rule the world, you can see that the output is a completely different hash. So think of it as a digital fingerprint. And that's the most important thing about blockchains, because if you cannot change or tamper with this information, then the information is there and it's there for everyone to see. Now, this, and of course, hashing is detrimental for the security and the integrity of the blockchain. So if we can look here on this page, I'm going to go back. So the first block on a blockchain is called the Genesis block because it's the first block. There is no previous hash. So its hash is going to be, this cryptography. Now, if you look at the second block that is added to the chain, we see that it has also a unique hash, a unique fingerprint, but it also carries with it the previous hash, meaning that no one can tamper with the information that has been already recorded on the blockchain. Now, why should you care about hashing as a creator? 3 points: provenance and authenticity, copyright protection, royalties, and fair compensation. Because in the creative industry, hashing is relevant when you want to verify the authenticity and the ownership of digital assets like artwork or music. So if someone created this, how would you protect that, and especially protect the copywriting? That's where hashing come into place. So by hashing, artists can provide a secure and transparent way to prove the originality of their and provenance of their work. And by hashing and timestamping, and that's very important to timestamp the date and time that this artwork has been issued or has been hashed. It's very important how it works on the blockchain, and this is how artists can establish an immutable record for their creations. So that's about hashing and blockchains and how it works. Of course, if we're talking about blockchains, we're going to talk about decentralization. Now, imagine our traditional systems, all the systems that we know already, like centralized authorities or, centralized entities or organizations. So there's a single entity, such as a government or a company, that controls and verifies all of the transactions. And in this traditional system, trust is placed in that central authority to ensure fairness, to ensure security, and to ensure accuracy. However, the reliance on one central entity can come with a lot of limitations, including single points of failure. Like if the system is down, everything is down. And we have seen this across many different centralized ecosystems. And then you have also possible corruption, and especially if we're talking about the partner, for example, countries. We know, for example, in Lebanon, there's a lot of corruption going on, government-wise as well. So how can people or creators trust that centralized entity? And there's a lot of there's a lack of transparency there as well. So these points all would tell us that sometimes traditional centralized systems do not work for everyone. Now, blockchain is designed to distribute the power and authority across no networks of participants, and that would transform the way we trust and transact with one another. Now, since a blockchain uses a lot of computers and not just one centralized entity, and these computers, we will call them nodes. They participate in validating and recording transactions. So there's no one single entity taking all of this information and recording it somewhere where we cannot see what's going on. Blockchain is very transparent. Everyone can see every single transaction that has happened on the chain. Of course, provided that this blockchain is a public one, because you have public blockchains, such as, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then you have private blockchains, which is used by companies that want to have blockchain solutions in their system, or to add blockchain solutions into their current model. So that would be private, but everything that's public, everyone can see everything. And each node, which is very special, each of these computers has a copy of the entire blockchain's history. So no one can tamper with the information, and it creates this redundancy and ensures that no single point of control exists. And that's the power of decentralization. The power of decentralization lies in the fact that no single entity has control over the entire system. Instead, trust is distributed among the network or the participants, creating a collective agreement on the state of this blockchain. And that's why blockchains are resisting censorships, manipulations, and single points of failure. Now, we're going to recap. I hope it was not a lot of tech jargon, but it's really important to understand why blockchains are special. And then we're going to move into how NFTs were created and how they operate on a blockchain. So let's recap a little bit. So blockchains are powered by a community of users, and that's very important for us to discuss, because a lot of people talk about Web3 as a movement as well. It's not only a technological revolution or it's the evolution of Web2, it's also a movement. And why is it a movement? Because there is community building, and the community is retaining control, taking back control from centralized entities. So blockchains, powered by a community of users, they are digital ledgers that are transparent and secure. And there is no central authority governing these blockchains. They're a shared canvas with everyone collaborating and verifying transactions together. Also, one thing, if anyone has a question top of their mind, because it's going to be a long session, please make sure to drop them in the comments, or just, write them somewhere so we can get to them in later stages. Now, the golden question: what are NFTs and how they work? In order for us to understand NFTs, we need to understand the term fungible and non-fungible. So I made this small table here to explain the types of assets and what is fungibility. So what is fungible? Fungible is something that cannot be exchanged or substituting without losing its value. Now, if I owe you 50 pounds, for example, or $50, I can return two $20 bills or 20 pound bills and one $10 bill. It doesn't matter if it was not the same bill, because this has the same value. You gave me 50 and I gave you 50 back. So this is fungibility. And they all hold the same value. Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, the cryptocurrencies, they are fungible tokens. Now, talking about non-fungible assets are assets that cannot be exchanged for the same value. They have a unique attributes attached to them. And that's why I've put, for example, Van Gogh's painting or precious stones or diamonds. Each of these assets are unique. They do not look like any other thing on the planet. A diamond, for example, today you cannot find an identical 100% diamond. Van Gogh, for example, you can never find an identical Van Gogh painting. It's one of its kind. It's unique. That's non-fungible in the non-fungible tokens. A lot of people, laugh about fungible coming from fungus. It has nothing to do with fungus. It's all about the uniqueness of this asset. So fungible and non-fungible. Now, physical and digital, of course. Physical, fungible assets that are physical is money, which we call also fiat. So fiat money is physical, fungible assets. Now, non-fungible physical assets, as we were saying, are paintings, artworks, precious stones, anything that is unique. It's one of a kind and cannot be exchanged for another piece of that same thing. It doesn't exist. Now, digital fungible tokens, as we were saying, digital fungible assets, as we were saying, are like cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there. They still hold the same value. Now, even if the market is up or down, if Bitcoin is worth 1,000 today, but it's worth 20,000 tomorrow, at the time of transaction, if I sent you one Bitcoin at 20,000 at that time, at that exact second, you can give me back half of Bitcoins, which is going to be the same value. It's a bit tricky with fungible assets or fungible tokens because of the volatility of the market. And non-fungible digital assets, which are NFTs, is that digital artwork that we were talking about. So when you take your artwork and you digitize it, and you put it on chain, you mint it, and that's what we're gonna talk about in later stages. That is what an NFT is. So let's talk about some fact uh, fact checks, NFT fact checks. So NFTs, it's a digital certificate that is stored on the blockchain on a secure distributed database. Now, digital non-fungible assets cannot be substituted, as we were saying, because they have unique attributes. And it has each NFT has a unique cryptographic code that is attached to either a physical or a digital asset. So it's very important to also understand that NFTs are not the actual digital asset. Now, it can be, and we're gonna talk about it later on with the technological advancements. Now, NFTs can actually hold metadata, but in general, NFTs are a certificate. So think of when you go buy land, you get a certificate for that land, but that certificate is your proof of ownership. It's not the actual land. You cannot walk around, having that land on you. So think of NFTs. It's the same thing. It's that certificate that you own this certain asset, but it's digital. Now, it's really important to understand why are NFTs important to the creative industries. So NFTs allows us to tokenize digital art. So we're turning this digital art, we're tokenizing, we're using that hash function that we're talking about, and we are recording these transactions on the blockchain. So you can tokenize digital art, you can tokenize music, videos, and any other creative expression. And by tokenizing, as we were saying, we're taking these creations, we're transforming them into a one-of-a-kind digital asset that can be bought, sold, and owned securely on the blockchain. And with NFTs, creators can establish and maintain ownership rights over their work. Like, imagine having an automated system that ensures that you receive royalties whenever your art is resold in the future. Very empowering, to be honest. It's also worth mentioning that the values of NFTs are, I wouldn't say volatile, but they're subject to the market. So today my NFT can be worth 1,000, and tomorrow it can be worth 20,000, and that has a lot of factors into the increase or decrease in price, which we're gonna also talk about in later stages. So let's recap a little bit about the technicalities of NFTs. So NFTs, it's a digital certificate. It's a digital certificate of ownership of an asset. And NFTs, with their image and metadata, they can either be stored on service or on chain, meaning on the blockchain itself, which is something that is recently has happened. Back in 2020, all the way to 2021 and 2022, the NFT represented only the NFT was only a digital certificate, but today, thanks to technological advancements in the Web3 and blockchain space, you can also have metadata on that in that NFT. So yes, NFTs are very cool, but they wouldn't be anywhere without smart contracts and Ethereum request for comments. Also, don't be scared of these terms. We're gonna dive into them and explain their significance. So let's talk about the marvels of ERCs and smart contracts. What is a smart contract? So think of a smart contract like digital assistants. It's a digital assistant for artists and creatives. So what does the digital assistant do? It drafts you that contract. It has which is self-executing. So it's a self-executing agreement that work behind the scenes to automate and enforce the terms of a creative collaboration or project. So if I am an artist today, if I am a painter and I have this amazing painting that I want to sell, I would either go to galleries and ask, for example, display or market, and then take a commission because they helped me sell this painting. And normally these commissions from what my hand that something. I'm sorry, there's someone I think. Please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. So, so this painting I have created it. No one has helped I am selling it, and then someone is taking, 20, 30, 40, up to 50% of the revenue. And that's not really fair, is it? So where smart contracts come is they are self-executing. They just work behind the scenes. They automate and enforce the terms. So if I want to sell this painting to someone on an NFT marketplace, after I've digitized it, after I've created an NFT and pegged that NFT to a physical artwork, this person will be paying me the total of whatever I want, like whatever the bid is. If I want to sell it for £100, I would sell it for £100. Now, most of the marketplaces would definitely take a cut, because how else would they function? But their cut is so much. It's a little cut. We're talking about 2% to 2.5%, as opposed to that 50%. So that's where the beauty. That is the beauty of smart contracts. It's peer to peer. It's between me and the end user, or the end customer, or that, that person who wants to collect my art. So it's very reliable. So it's, you can think of it as a reliable digital collaborator that ensures that everyone involved gets what they agreed on, without relying on intermediaries, as they are executed automatically and impartially, and they run on the blockchain. So that is a smart contract. What are the characteristics of a smart contract? They are due to that automated process that we talked about. So there's no one in the middle to, press a button and say, oh, okay, we're gonna validate this transaction, or we're gonna validate this trade. No one. It's once the code is written, once that smart contract is written, it's self-executing, and it's self-executing or self-enforcing, because when all of the rules are met, this is the automation, which is amazing. When all the rules are met, the transaction is done. The money is taken from that wallet, delivered to your wallet, and that NFT is transferred to its new home. And it's of course tamper proof, as no one can change what has been programmed. Again, the magical possibilities of blockchain technologies. Now, that is smart contracts. What are ERCs? So ERCs stand for Ethereum Requests for Comment. What do they do? It's just a set of guidelines. Think of it as guidelines and standards that developers follow when creating tokens and smart contracts on the blockchain, and on the Ethereum blockchain, to be specific. What do they do? So they ensure the compatibility and interoperability between different tokens and applications, making it easier for developers to create and interact with digital assets in a secured and standardized way. So what does it mean in a simple term? So think of ERCs as a framework, because like every company, every organization has a framework that they work on, which is that set of rules and guidelines. And this framework would just help developers who are writing these codes and smart contracts to build the tokens and smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain in a consistent and compatible manner. Meaning that once this standard is out, it's out. Everyone can use it. They don't have to go back and change things in it. You can't change. You can actually build on, but not change. And yes, this is what ERCs do. They really ensure that all of these tokens and decentralized applications or applications are working with each other, and that promotes innovation and usability on the Ethereum ecosystem that we're going to talk about later on. Now, when you talk about ERCs, you'd say, like, why does it also matter for us? So there are ERCs for fungible tokens, like cryptocurrencies, and there are ERCs for non-fungible tokens, which is NFTs. Now, the mother of all ERCs is the ERC20, because as we all know that cryptocurrencies have been introduced to this world quite before NFTs. So the first standard was all about these tokens, and it's the most known and widely adopted standards for fungible tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, so ERC, the ERC20, it's for fungible tokens. So these tokens are identical, they're interchangeable, meaning one token is equal to one another and of the same type and value, of course. Now, come to ERC 721. Thank you, ERC 721. We are all grateful for you because ERC 721 introduced the concept of non-fungible tokens. So that's when we had the first framework and standards of NFTs. Now, and of course, unlike ERC 20, each ERC 721 token is unique and represents ownership of a specific digital asset or collectible, which is these NFTs. Now, ERC 721, they allowed developers to create digital assets within distinct characteristics, enabling the representation of unique items and digital art. Not only digital art as well, you can have virtual real estate, in-game assets, music, whatever art or creation that you might want to turn into a digital asset. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of ERCs. I do encourage you, if you are interested in this space, maybe to screenshot this, or I'm not really sure, Heike, if they can screenshot this, I don't mind, but or also go back to this recording and see these ERCs, because each standard represents a certain function. You have functions where NFTs can actually now own other NFTs, where they can pose themselves as wallets, as they say. But the one ERC that I would like to talk about is ERC 1155, because that is the hybrid token. It is the first standard that combines elements from ERC 20, which is for fungible tokens, and ERC 721. Now you can have them, you can have the standard that represents both individual unique assets, NFTs, and multiple identical assets, such as cryptocurrencies. And it's very efficient for people, and it's very cost effective, since you are reducing the need of separate smart contracts. You can just do one smart contract for whatever trade that you want to do. And I'm going to talk briefly about ERC 6551, which is the freshest ERC on the market, as they say. It is designed to supercharge the world of NFTs. It turns NFT into a smart contract wallet. So imagine this NFT that you have. Now it can hold other NFTs, and which is great. And it's just like a smart contract wallet. It takes the capabilities of ERC 721 to a whole new level, because your NFTs can own other NFTs. Enough about ERCs. I just wanted to give you just an overview, because it's really important to, like, these are the prerequisites of understanding how to use NFTs. And if you understand which ERC best suits your project, you can you can have a more successful NFT drop. So let's talk about minting as well. What is minting? So when an NFT is minted, this process, it is assigned a unique identification code and recorded on the blockchain. Meaning, so today, if you have an artwork, if you have a digital artwork, this digital artwork in a form of, I don't know what format, it is just saved on your computer or a server or a drive or on the cloud, but it's just there. It's not an NFT. So you need to mint that to turn it into an NFT or have that digital certificate. So this process, what does it do? It establishes the authenticity, ownership, and provenance of your digital asset. And once minted, once you mint, and we're going to see how we're going to mint, this NFT becomes the distinct non-fungible item that cannot be replaced or altered. So if you have an artwork on your computer today, anyone can just copy it, or if you send it to someone and they can forward it to 100, everyone now has your a digital artwork. However, when they are NFTs, when you transform these digital files into cryptographic collections, they are now maintained on the blockchain and no one can copy them. It's time stamped. The ownership is very clear, because, as we said, always remember these blocks, bind it together, and they are transparent, so we can all see who is the owner of this artwork. Is it sold yet or not? If someone bought it, how much did they buy it for? What wallet is it sitting in right now? So that's the process of minting. Now, what about gas fees? I'm not sure if everyone has heard about gas fees, but there's always an amount of um, uh, cryptocurrency. There's amount that you need to pay in order to buy or sell your NFT, and that is gas fees. Now, in the world of minting and trading NFTs, gas fees are like the tolls that you pay to take a ride. So, if you want to go to a roller coaster, you have to pay a fee to go inside and play. And I thought just to make it easier for everyone. So it's just a toll that you need to pay to use the Ethereum blockchain. Now, in the context of minting and trading NFTs, when you perform an action such as minting an NFT or listing it on sale for sale on a marketplace, you need to pay this gas fee to cover the computational resources. So this is what you're covering. There are some computational resources behind these transactions that are used by the Ethereum network in order to be able to execute the action. So if we think of the gas as the fuel that powers the Ethereum network, now every transaction or smart contract operation needs a certain amount of gas, which is what represents the computation resources needed to make things happen. So you have minting. Once you want to mint your NFT, which is turn that into that cryptographic code that is registered on the blockchain, and then you have to also pay these fees, these tolls on the Ethereum blockchain roller coaster. So we have covered the NFTs from a technical side. What are they, and where do smart contracts and ERC come into play? We have covered the technical term of minting and what gas fees are. So now you have a better understanding, I'd say, of these technicalities that are behind NFTs or make NFTs even possible. Now, let's go down the rabbit hole of the history of NFTs. It's very interesting because the first NFT that ever came to life was Quantum. They named it Quantum, and it was on the Namecoin blockchain. That was in 2014. Now, it's notable to say that the first wave of NFT creations, like bulk NFT creations and dropped, were on in 2017, and we're going to talk that in a bit. But 2014 marked this significance in the world. It's very significant to the NFT world because that was the first NFT. That was when the first NFT was minted. Now, in 2017, as I was saying, why was this explosion? The explosion of NFTs was because of that Ethereum request for comment or ERC that we were talking about, 721. And when Ethereum blockchain introduced it, they opened that can of worms. Like everyone was on NFTs, everyone wanted to start their own project, and it really enabled the NFTs to actually be. And as we were saying, 2020 and 2021 was when the NFTs exploded. So they exploded in popularity and they captured, mainstream attention. And we're gonna go down the memory lane of the highest NFTs that were sold in this slide. So not sure what happened. Can you see the slide? See it from my side. Sorry, just a second. Sure. Okay, perfect. So as we can see here, in March 2021, even a little before March 2021, that mainstreaming of NFTs begun. But it's notable to say in March 2021, there were a lot of crazy sales here and there, and sorry, second. And it's notable to say that CryptoPunks and Beeple and CryptoKitties that we're going to talk about in detail in a bit were the first on the scene, as they say. We see NFTs being sold for 7 million, 8 million, and we cannot forget Beeple, which is a digital artist. He has stunning digital creations. Did the first 5,000 days, and he sold it at Christie's, which is a very notable auction for around $70 million, which was a crazy, because at that time people did not understand what NFTs are, and they were like, how would I buy something that I cannot touch and feel with 70 million? But people smashed all of these negative perceptions, and he really started this NFT movement, I'd say. At least for us, the people who are very passionate about this scene, we've seen how people cracked the code and sold his this NFT for 70 million. We can also see that from April 21 to July 21, we had notable sales as well. We can see a lot of CryptoPunk on there, and we're going to talk about this project. And one of the main attributes of this project was it was one of the very first projects on the Ethereum blockchain, and people were able to actually get a hold of these NFTs for free. All they had to do is pay that transaction fee, which is the gas fees that we talked about. And imagine that they went from zero to $11 million. So imagine how much their value went in price. And in November 2021, one of these CryptoPunks was sold for $500 million, which is crazy. I mean, it's just this world is fascinating, because it's not about the supply and demand. It is a little bit about the supply and demand, especially if the NFTs were limited, which creates scarcity. But I mean, today someone is willing to pay $500 million for this NFT, while others don't even register this as art at all, which is amazing, because it really mirrors the creative industry. It doesn't, no one necessarily needs to like what they see, but there is this someone who is looking for that type of art, where this art means something to them, where being part of this community is an added value to their lives. Hence, they pay $500 million for an NFT. Now, some NFT projects, also I advise you, like, just to take note of these projects. Each one of them has a certain attribute. I'm not gonna go through them all, but I'm gonna just talk about CryptoPunks a little bit, Beeple and CryptoKitties. So CryptoPunks, as I said, they were one of the earliest NFT projects on the Ethereum blockchain, and that gave them a lot of value and significance. They had 10,000 NFTs, so there are 10,000 NFTs, CryptoPunk NFTs only. They will only be 10,000. Nothing is going to exist afterwards, and that is the scarcity that I was talking about. Now, CryptoKitties concept is amazing, especially for gaming and in-game assets and blockchain gaming, because they were founded in they were dropped in 2017, very close to the time of when CryptoPunks dropped their NFTs as well. And what's important about them and what's significant, they are a blockchain based game, and where players, they can adopt or breed and trade virtual cats. So if I have a CryptoKitty and someone else has a CryptoKitty, you can breed them together. And these CryptoKitties or NFTs are in-game assets. So you can use these assets in the game, which gives them a lot of value, especially if you were doing great and they had special powers and whatnot. So think of Pokemon only on chain. And it also helps a lot of people make revenues, because you can buy your CryptoKitty, you can breed it, and then you can sell these breeds, or even your CryptoKitty itself, for a lot more than you have purchased it. Now, now we're going to talk about BAYC, Board 8 Yacht Club, which is a lot of people made fun of BAYC, like who would buy a picture of a monkey for that much money. And now we can see that how these NFTs are proving everyone wrong, because they skyrocketed in terms of their value and in terms of the rewards that are attached to these NFTs, which is the utilities behind NFTs. We're going to talk about it in a bit. So let me tell you about the history of Board 8 Yacht Club, BAYC. So the company that dropped them is called Yuga Labs, YUGA Labs. That was in 2021. And it's a collection of also 10,000. They are limited. They are 10,000 NFTs. And what they wanted to do, the creators of Board 8 Yacht Club, was to incorporate elements of the 1980s, 1990s era, music era scenes such as hip hop, punk, and like punk and hip hop. So, what's amazing about this project is that it has a lot of benefits. So, you have exclusive online members only areas. So, you have a lot of exclusivity. It's like a token gated community where members have access to this community. And then they have a lot of merch, so merchandise. So if you have an NFT, BAYC NFTs, you get some physical free merch that is distributed throughout the year. And then you have a lot of world events by BAYC. They've been really famous for their boat parties and boat events that are parties that are thrown all over the world, where you get access to these parties and access to the members and a lot of people who are of significant, I'd say, importance in the NFT world. So it's all about the community again. And then they got a lot of NFTs, free NFTs dropped from projects that related to BAYC from Yuga Labs, such as Mutant 8 Yacht Club, MAYC. You can also look this up. It's a very interesting project. And to be honest, I think what's special about BAYC is that they became this cultural trend, because we've seen these monkeys that people made fun of on drinks, beers, labels, skateboards. We saw them on billboards. We saw them on various other products. And what's interesting here, now we're going to go back to these royalties. So these royalties, each time the picture of or the visual of your NFT was used anywhere, you are getting these royalties without asking for them. Beauty of smart contracts. So that is this, self-executing agreement. So whenever this is displayed, whenever your NFT is displayed, you're automatically making money. It's also and worth saying that Universal Music Group, UMG, which is a very known, one of the top record labels in the world, have actually a virtual band. So they have a band that is virtual, and this band is made up of 4 BAYCs. So it's just, the sky is the limit with NFTs. And now they're producing music, and these music as well, when they are streamed, the owners of these NFTs are gonna get a hefty amount of royalties. So yes, I encourage you to read more about other projects that are on this slide. And now we're gonna talk about market caps, or how much did NFTs, or the world of NFTs, what was worth. Now, 2021, as we were saying, was the golden year, and this marked the staggering 41 billion market cap for NFTs, which was amazing. And people, thought that this will, go on, but unfortunately, NFTs are in a way or not related, are in a way or another related to the crypto market. And also, whether a lot of people would admit or not, the crypto market is also reliable on the traditional markets and stocks and what's happening in the world. So if we have inflation, this is going to affect the crypto market, hence affecting the NFTs. And we saw that in 2023 now, where the market is not even quarter of what it used to be in 2021. However, it's still a very big number, because this number represents the GDP of many small countries, such as Kosovo, Togo, and Somalia. So we're talking about a huge market cap. And we hope that when the market picks up, it's gonna reach, billions and billions more. So Now we talked about NFTs. We talked about some famous NFT projects out there and what they are, how they are based, what are they based on, what are their attributes. Let's talk about some NFT use cases. Now, these are not the only NFT use cases, especially in the last 6 7 months, as I was talking about the ERCs as well. There has been a lot of technological advancements that led to many NFT use cases. But I'm just going to talk about the top five for now. We're going to talk about NFT use cases in digital art, gaming, virtual real estate, music, hence royalties, and real world asset tokenization. Now, digital art, I think, the OG of the scene was People. And as I was saying, that he was known for his groundbreaking digital art, and he offered, unique and visually stunning creations that pushed the boundaries of the medium. And he made the history by the sale of Every Days, the first 5,000 days in Christie's, as we were saying. And it really drew the attention of the potential value of and significance of digital art. And hence, his work has gained widespread recognition and he has become the symbol of the NFT art. CryptoKitties for gaming, we were just talking about it. I'm not gonna dive again, but it's just the concept of having these collectibles, and you can breed these virtual cats, allowed people to own unique digital companions. So these are digital companions. They're like their friends. They play with them, they trade them, they breed them. So it really has this significance to the owner or NFT holder. Um, and it's very important what CryptoKitties done. As we were saying, they were the first one of the first NFT projects on the Ethereum blockchain, which is that they showed people or demonstrated to the world that blockchains can be used for other reasons and not just financial transactions. And that's when blockchain gaming was at its peak in 2021, for example. It was at its peak. CryptoKitties, and there's also Axie Infinity, of course, that's one of the biggest projects as well. Also, feel free to Google it and know more about Axie Infinity. Now, virtual real estate, Decentraland. So Decentraland offered decentralized virtual real. It's a decentralized virtual reality it's a decentralized virtual reality platform. Now, users can explore, they can interact with one another, and they can own that virtual land. Of course, it's a metaverse that you can access through virtual reality, or you can access through your phone or computer. So it's very very accessible. And that platform enabled people to create and monetize virtual experiences and content. So this virtual world, it's powered by its users. Again, giving that power back to the community and taking it from centralized entities. So this is what Decentraland, and decentralization promote. So people can buy, sell, and trade virtual land and assets, and that gave rise to the and value to the user-driven economy. And of course, NFTs is one of the biggest examples of user-driven economies where it exploded in these 2 years, as we were saying. Now, also decentralized. What's important about decentralized is it provided a social space for users to connect, collaborate, and engage with one another in that virtual environment, and it opened a lot of possibilities and social interactions. Now, let's talk about music and royalties. Now, music and royalties, NFTs and AI is the hottest topic right now because it's really been hard for experts and developers to translate, that this royalty system that we have, the traditional royalty system, and code that into smart contracts. But we're going to see with Kings of Leon what they did. So, the Kings of Leon, the band, they dropped their NFT and they offered they did their NFT drop and they offered their fans this exclusive and immersive music experience. So they gave them, they provided them with special perks like limited edition music releases, live show tickets, and VIP privileges, where people got to NFT holders got to meet the band in person, have these VIP backstages. So a lot of perks going on with that immersive experience, of course. So there's a lot of added value to the end user in term when they decide to purchase a certain NFT. And what's very important about NFTs and music is that they allow fans to interact directly with with these musicians, and just this community that musicians can build now with their fans is it's much more personal, and it means a lot to the end user because um, we're cutting all these intermediaries. It's again this peer-to-peer ecosystem that is very much appreciated by the NFT enthusiasts or community. And they also had a lot of personalized rewards, which is great. Everyone wants a personalized reward. And they also, pushed the boundaries and, started showing other artists how NFTs can revolutionize the music industry by creating, of course, new revenue streams. And these new revenue streams will be global because NFTs are not geographically bound. If I am a band in Kenya and I have fans in Singapore, these fans can purchase my NFT and get access to all of these perks in like zero point 0.3 seconds. So it's just fascinating, to be honest. Uh, and then we're going to talk about tokenization or real world asset tokenization, which is what the Lobstars project is all about. So what they do is they tokenize world assets. So you can have physical goods, you can have physical artwork, you can have luxury goods. You can just take these and create unique digital representations on the blockchain. Now, it's really important because tokenization of real world assets, which is like breaking down this real world asset and selling it in fractions, is very important in the scene. Why? So imagine I have a $5 million worth apartment in Dubai, for example, and I want to sell it, but I cannot find. I mean, probably you will find someone who will buy a 5 million house in Dubai, but I mean, I cannot find a seller. So you have these platforms where they come and tell you, okay, we're gonna divide this. The ownership is not gonna be for one. We're gonna divide this 5 million into, for example, five NFTs. So they're gonna tokenize it. They're gonna take this real world asset and divide it into five. So each share or each NFT is gonna be 1 million, and that would help first of all the owner of this apartment to have that liquidity because they want to sell it. They are in search for liquidity, so they are able to liquidize their assets. That's one, and two, it's democratizing real estate investment as well because a lot of people cannot buy a 5 million house, but they can, however, buy 1 million. Of course, these numbers are just astronomical, but think of it that in a smaller scale, and especially, for example, in Lebanon or Jordan. I mean, the average apartment in Lebanon or Jordan is around, you can find apartments from $100,000 to $200,000. So imagine if you democratize real estate investment, or people who want to invest in real estate or make some money, divided by 5 or 10 or 20, you choose how much shares you want to break this up. They would first of all they would own something, this digital certificate that's actually pegged to something physical. That's a physical asset. And second of all, with real estate, we all know and we've seen, that the only way is up with real estate. So you always have you're making money out of your investment because this property is definitely gonna increase in price. So that's your also value. Also, if we're talking about big properties or commercial properties as well, you would have rent. So imagine a mall, how NFTs can, you know, break down that mall and give you this access or this ownership to that physical asset, and then you can make money out of that rent. So that's, you know, a revenue stream out there. It's really fascinating. So, you know, briefly, this is what the likes of the lobsters or these platforms are doing. And I think it's really crucial for the generations to come. I mean, our generation it's really hard for us to, you know, invest and buy a house because of, you know, everyone's living pre-COVID, post-COVID, inflation. People are not making a lot of money. Salaries are still as is, while, you know, everything's um, getting more expensive. So it is actually an opportunity for millennials and Gen Z moving forward to actually not be intimidated by investing, or, you know, they want to own a house, but they want to own it in 5 years. So it's an excellent way to start investing in real estate and, you know, real world assets in general. So now we get to the monetizing part, as they say. So NFTs and intellectual property. Now, as we talked about NFTs, like each NFT each NFT will contain a unique identifier that's stored on the blockchain, and that serves the immutable or is the immutable record of ownership that we were talking about. Now, proof of ownership and authenticity, that's something that is very important in the IP world. It's all about authenticity and ownership. And for example, if you take, you know, the CryptoKitties example, you had each digital cat of these collections had unique attributes, and the ownership history, it's recorded on the Ethereum blockchain. So you can see who owned this CryptoKitty at what time, and how did they, who bought it, and whatnot. So this ownership and authenticity is already established by blockchains because of its immutability and self-executing contracts. Now, how can, you know, NFTs help with royalties and secondary sales? This is what we were talking in a bit, because of, you know, the smart contracts. So you can incorporate the smart contract that enables creators to earn royalties from secondary sales. So through these smart contracts, you can specify a percentage of the sale of that price, and then you're gonna receive that royalty whenever that NFT is sold in the future. And again, you don't even have to know about it. You're just gonna get that notification. Bam! Your NFT has been sold on the secondary market, and now you have this and this amount in your wallet. And one of the most famous NFT marketplaces, especially for art and artwork, which is very rareable. We're going to talk about it in a bit. It has these amazing royalty mechanisms for artists out there. So as everyone is open on OpenSea doesn't have a lot of curation, art curation, and it's a bit missing there. But you can find it in Rareable, which is amazing for artists, as I was saying. And then you have these royalty mechanisms incorporated into your NFT. And whenever you create an NFT on Rarible and it's resold on the platform, the original creator will receive the percentage of the sale value as that royalty payment, and that ensures, you know, that ongoing compensation for their work. Now, traceability and transparency. I think that we've gone through how transparent the blockchain is. Again, transparent blockchain, so everyone can see what has been going on, what transaction has happened, and you can trace through hashing or the hash the hash uh, innovation, I'd say, who has been owning this NFT, and when did they buy it, when did they sell it, and whatnot. And now let's talk about licensing and control. So NFTs definitely help in licensing and in control, and putting these control mechanisms into place. And that allows these creators to define usage rights, which is so important. And they can also have restrictions over their digital assets. This is all can be incorporated through smart contracts, and that's how they will be enforced. So smart contracts will enforce these licensing terms, enabling creators to retain control over how their work is used. Um, yes, so global reach. It's of course, as we were saying, that NFT has no borders, nor nationalities, nor religions, nor colors. NFTs is something that is revolutionary. Again, it's a movement. This is what I'd like to say and promote, to be honest. And they also have this potential to expand the reach and accessibility of digital assets while leveraging blockchain technology, and by opening these global doors to artists and creators, and just getting access to that global pool of audience who might be interested in your work is something that is not to be taken lightly, especially in the countries, the partner countries that we were talking about. I'll give you a small example about Lebanon, where I am originally from, where you have, for example, Ginger Potter, Ralph Khouri, his name. He's one of the most famous NFT artists, and he has been featured worldwide. His art has been featured worldwide, and you see Ginger Potter in a country where he lost most of his money. There's a lot of corruption going on, and he is an artist. So artists and artists' life, and monetizing their work is really um, challenging. So he was, the very first artist, I think, one of the very first in Lebanon to dive into the world of NFTs, where he turned his artwork, his fascinating artwork, and the message behind it is amazing. I really recommend that you go over his collection. He turned it into NFTs, and he sold out really quick, and he was able to monetize his work while staying in Lebanon. And that's the I think the perks of not just NFTs, like Web3 in general, because Web3 is cross border. It doesn't really matter that doesn't really, no one cares if you're in the same geographical area as the company or the headquarters. It's really that promotes that remote working, and diversity, and that's amazing. And for me, to be able to be in Lebanon or Jordan or Kenya or Senegal, or in South Africa, where I cannot really monetize my work, rather than the brain drain that we've been seeing a lot, especially in this country, where all of these creatives, all of these smart and high achievers are going to the West. Although I hate the West East narrative, but it is what it is. I mean, there's this brain drain has been going on for years and years now. And now it's not only we're going to have brain retention because these artists are able to stay in their, in their country, in their home country, while actually opening up, firing up their laptop, and bam, that's a global community out there eager to see your work and eager to communicate with you. And I know that Ginger Potter, for example, has an amazing community, like hundreds and thousands of followers who are not Lebanese, which is amazing. And that's what this technology is bringing to the world. That's where governments or centralized entities are closing the doors, you find this technology coming and opening this virtual door for us to be able to monetize our work. Sorry for rambling on. We're going to move into NFT marketplaces. So there are a lot of NFT marketplaces, but the first marketplace, I wouldn't say the first, I would say the most famous, just to state the fact. It's the most famous and largest NFT marketplace is OpenSea, and it is very user friendly, as we're gonna see right now when we're gonna walk you through how to mint your NFT. It's very user friendly, and it has a lot of robust features and possibilities, and um, lost my English, attributes that you can add to your NFT. And it really has a high liquidity. I think it has the highest liquidity of them all. I think one marketplace surpassed it in last month, but still, the trading volume is high. Now, what's I'd say what's like nay about OpenSea is that there are a lot of there's a very high gas fees, which is a problem because no one wants to pay a lot of high gas fees, and sometimes if you want to mint an NFT for example $100, you end up paying more in gas fees than the actual NFT, which is not really fun and not really feasible for a lot of people. And then you have limited curation because anyone can mint an NFT on an OpenSea. Like you don't have to have any credentials or have that history or experience in art. Anyone can just whip anything up and mint it, which is it's not really fun to see like a million projects out there that are worth nothing. And I'm not belittling anyone. I mean, sometimes people just make it because they just want to flip NFTs or just make a quick buck out of it, which defeats the point of using NFTs, especially for digital art. And then you have a lot of like a high level of competition and saturation. As I was saying, you can find millions and millions of projects on OpenSea. It's a little bit overwhelming and too saturated for my taste, I'd say. But still, I mean, everyone who's all of the cool guys hang on hang in on an OpenSea. The biggest NFTs ever minted were on OpenSea, so I'm not gonna take that credit away. And it's also it all like why are we diving into these NFT marketplaces? Because it doesn't have to be one marketplace that you go to because it's just the marketplace that everyone is talking about, or it's like where the cool guys hang out. It's all about your art and what is better for your NFTs. That's why I'm gonna now move into Rarible, and it is also a decentralized marketplace, but it really empowers people and artists to mint, buy, and sell their NFTs directly, as we were saying. Now, the amazing thing about Rarible, now you also can customize royalties on OpenSea, but Rarible takes it to a whole new level, as they say. Their royalty settings is amazing. The customization is amazing, and it's a very community driven platform, which is something that I've been talking about endlessly. And it has a lower barrier to entry, meaning the fees and whatnot. As I was explaining to you, every platform would or marketplace would take fee when you trade NFTs, sell NFTs. Now, what's nay about Rare? But it's not really nay, but the market is fragmented, to be honest. And then the user experience, just because sometimes you find this like high level of user experience, but not enough curation. With Rarible, you see amazing curation, but it's a bit clunky to the user. I'm pretty sure that they're working on it, but it's still a bit clunky to the user, and of course a smaller user base because it's much more. I'd say I wouldn't say intimate, but as we were saying, it's community driven, so it's not mainstream. That's why you find less users. Now, Super Rare, for example, it focuses on high quality digital art. I mean, the people who are on there, creatives and artists, are amazing because most, if not all of them, have been in the scene for so long. They are established, big names on Super Rare, as you can go and see. They have a very strong community, of course, because they are all established artists, so they all want to push this NFT movement together. Their art is really much it's very well curated. Please go and see what's on there. And it also has social features, something that OpenSea and Rarible are catching up on. But I think Super Rare was really early on, like on early stages. They had these social features, which is amazing, where you can like, share, um, and spread it on Web2 social medias. And they also support Ethereum blockchain. What's nay is the curation standards. I wouldn't say it's nay. Some people find it a bit frustrating because of that high quality. Me personally, especially because I value art a lot, I think that there should be high curation standards in order, just to give to be fair to these artists, and differentiate the mainstream, like anyone who's anyone would mint an NFT and just give that art its value. And yes, and as I was saying, because of these high curation standards, you have limited NFT availability. I really believe that this will change in a couple of years. I hope so. And of course, a higher a price range of NFTs, because art costs. So these are like a small overview of these marketplaces out there. As I was saying, there are a lot of marketplaces. Make sure to be vigilant in your research, because some of these marketplaces can be scams. And this is one of the things that I think the NFT world or the NFT community have been struggling with for the past few years, are these scams. And the people call them the JPEGs, just people flipping NFTs here and there. It really makes me sad, to be honest, because this is not what NFTs are all about. And hopefully, with moving forward, we're gonna see less of these, because there's a lot of due diligence that's been, governance as well from the community, within the community, in calling out these schemes, community driven. So that's amazing. Some of MENA based NFT efforts, I just like three that caught my attention. There's a lot more, of course, but we don't have a lot of time to go into them. So for example, Jumi is a curated NFT marketplace. So it also services artists and brands. They empower local artists to enter the NFT world, which is amazing. They are based in UAE. And as we saw before, like UAE has been doing, they are the first actually country to put some legislations and to legalize cryptocurrencies and blockchains. And they have a lot of initiatives and funds allocated into innovative technology, allocated to innovative technologies, to the metaverse, to Web3, blockchain, and hence NFTs. They're all about job creation, flipping that brain drain from the west to the east, and helping a lot of companies and facilitating Web3 companies to be headquartered in the UAE. So kudos to the UAE for pioneering in that. KSA, of course, is because there's always this unspoken of this rivalry that no one wants to talk about, but KSA as well is very much interested in these innovative technologies. We see what they're doing in Neum and how they're incorporating cognitive metaverses and NFTs and tokens and whatnot. A lot of blockchain solutions have been introduced in Saudi. So we've seen a lot of interest in that area, I'd say, for the past couple of years. Now, Strive Network, so it's a utility protocol. So what does it mean by utility? And that's why I've put it here. NFTs can have utilities attached to them, or they can be artwork. And there's no good and bad. If you have an artwork, digital artwork that you turned into an NFT and you sold it as a collectible, that is what this NFT is for. It's the NFT just facilitates this sale. Now, in other contexts, NFTs can have utilities attached to it. And these utilities, you can think of them as perks, such as that revenue stream, that passive income that we were talking about, access to these gated communities. Sometimes you can get um, royalties, or like part of royalties from some songs. Actually, if you're interested in that, in music, where music and NFTs marry, you should look at Rihanna's NFTs. So it was not Rihanna that dropped these NFTs, just because Rihanna doesn't own 100% of her songs, which is fascinating. Which is what's fascinating about music and royalties. However, you can look up these NFTs. They were sold for $200, and they just skyrocketed because they give you as a part, like a very small 0.000% of the royalties of one of her songs that starts with a very bad word. So I'm not going to say it right now, but you can look it up online. And people went crazy on these NFTs because, first of all, it's a Rihanna song, so it's gonna be playing on repeat on all of these music platforms, and that's just a passive income that you're having while just sitting at home. Amazing investment. Not a financial advice, everything that I'm saying. But that's what utilities are. So a utility protocol, or like companies or platforms such as Stripe, would help you as a creator to understand and pick and choose what utilities you want to be attached to your smart contracts, attached to your NFTs through your smart contract. And that is really, I find it really helpful for people who want to broaden their NFT usage. Like if I want to have an art, for example, if I have a digital artwork, I can translate that into NFT and so sell it as a collectible, but I can also add these perks as well to make it of an added value to the investor or end user. And then Crustonic, it's an amazing because it's a no code NFT, and you're gonna see a lot of these platforms um, now. I mean, especially in the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, we saw that the technicalities behind Web3 are scaring people away. They're scaring users, they're scaring Web2 people, they're scaring investors. No one knew how to, actually explain what Web3 is. If you ask 100 experts what Web3 is, they would give you 100 definitions. So that's why it's a bit of a gray area. But now the user experience is what is important in this industry, and I cannot stress on this enough, because no one cares what blockchain does for you. No one cares about these smart contracts. What they care about is, why would I invest in this digital asset? What added value it's gonna give me? That's it. And the thing that happened in Web3 was, like, everyone was talking about the technicalities, and that's normal, because it's a technological revolution. So you're gonna have technical talks here and there, but the user experience was not something that everyone was putting 100% energy on, just because they needed to figure out the technicalities first. But with the bull market, with the bear market that we've been unfortunately living in, it gave a lot of people and companies to ponder upon that user experience, because it's all about your customers or your users or your community. And as I was saying, no one wants to know what's happening in the back end. They want to know what added value this asset or this technology is going to bring to their lives, which is amazing what Crestonic are doing, along with a lot of platforms, which is helping people mint their NFTs, no code. It's really straightforward. Now we are on how to create the NFT on OpenSea. Not really sure why you guys can't see this. Just a second, sorry. Okay, don't know what's wrong with this page. Very sorry, but it's not really that important, because I'm going to explain it on the second slide. So now you want to mint your NFT, let's say on OpenSea. What shall you do? Very straightforward. Now you need a digital wallet in order to mint your NFT. Digital wallets, you can find hundreds. Now I'm just going to give the example of MetaMask, and move from there. You can find a lot of wallets that are EVM compatible, or they run on the Ethereum virtual machine, or you can use them on OpenSea. So to set up the digital wallet, it's really very straightforward. And a digital wallet, just think of it as a digital bank account for your NFTs. So you have digital banking right now. You have online banking. You can go online on your app and see how much money you have. You can transfer. You can do that all on the app. Now the digital wallet, think of it just like that digital bank account, but it's on the blockchain, and it can hold cryptocurrencies and NFTs. So as I was saying, I'm gonna go with MetaMask, because it is one of the popular um, platforms. And you just go to MetaMask, you download the browser extension that is not showing here, but you just click download on the browser extension if you're working on your desktop, which I recommend. I don't recommend people who are minting their first NFT to do it on their phone. Just have a desktop in front of you. It's much easier, especially maneuvering around OpenSea platform. And now, once you download it, you just follow the instructions to set up that account. So when you set up a wallet, of course, you're gonna go with create a wallet since you're a new user, and then here you need to get some ETH. So uh, this is the thing with the partner countries that are present, and whom we are curating this course for. Now, normally, you should be able to go to a crypto exchange, just an exchange, and then you buy some ETH or whatever cryptocurrency that you want. Very straightforward process, straightforward, quote unquote. It's not really clunky. It's really really straightforward. Now, the problem with uh, Lebanon and Jordan is that you cannot access these exchanges. So it's banned. Even OpenSea. So in Lebanon, I know that it's banned in Jordan as well, but people can use, VPNs to access them. The thing is that you cannot access a crypto exchange whatsoever. So you will have to go to the black market. I'd say. Now, I hate using the term black market because the people who are you know facilitating these exchanges are actually people who are Web3 pro Web3. They want things to happen and they want to help people obtain crypto. But you will have to see, some exchanges. I know that in Lebanon you have some exchanges, OMTs and whatnot, that actually facilitate that. You would give them fiat, you would give them money, and then they would transfer you the crypto. However, they would take a lot of transfer fees. It's much more than what exchanges take, unfortunately. But then this is how you can obtain it. Now, if someone wants to know more, you can get in contact with me, and maybe I can tell you more about some initiatives in different countries where they can also help you in obtaining crypto. So, but traditionally, if we were on a crypto exchange, you just go to that crypto exchange, you enter your debit card, very, very user friendly, and then you will wait for your account to be verified. And then when you're verified, you can purchase that ETH or other cryptocurrencies. You can try, for example, Coinbase. I mean, Coinbase is passing through a bit of a hard time. They have a lot of lawsuits incurred in the past couple of days, but they're still running. So response. Okay. So as we said, we need some crypto now. You need a very very low amount, just so you can cover the transaction fees. And as you were saying, you can do it from crypto exchanges. And as we were saying, the black market is all there is in Lebanon and Jordan right now. Now you go here. Once you sign in, you go to your profile on the top right corner. You choose the option to connect your wallet and you select your MetaMask wallet. Now, a prompt will appear to authorize this connection, and then you confirm this connection. I'm going to show you some slides, and then your wallet's going to be linked to the OpenSea account. So your wallet's linked, your profile is there, you're ready to go to mint your first NFT. So here you see that you select MetaMask, and then here you connect. So when you connect your MetaMask, you're all ready to go, and then you're gonna go to create. So you're gonna go to your profile, and then you're gonna select create. I'm gonna show you now, and you're gonna choose the collection. So the collection option is where you're gonna actually mint your first NFT slash collection of NFTs, and in that collection, you're gonna specify the name, description, and the image. And not only name, description, and image, you're gonna specify your royalties. You're gonna specify a lot of attributes to this NFT collection. So you go to create a collection, and as you can see here, it's gonna prompt you to add the image, or like the logo image if you want to have a logo or not. It really depends on how your collection looks like. But definitely, for example, the logo of your company or who you are, and then you're gonna add the images or artwork. Now here, sorry, here, after you upload or choose the collection, now you enter the name, enter NFT, the name of the NFT, and then you upload the desired media of your choice, of course. Now you can also customize your OpenSea URL, and then you can add a description up to 1,000 characters, and then you can give your NFT a category to help people, when they're searching to find your artwork. And you can also add any, social media, your social media, any websites links for people, to go and discover and read more about this NFT collection. And let me see. Yeah, so here we're talking about this page. Sorry, yes. So here, as you can see, the name of the collection, the external link, the description. And then here, for example, this is one of the attributes or one of the options that you have on OpenSea, for example, is unlockable content, which is like if you want to hide some attributes and then just release them or unlock them. Once this is minted and sold, you can do that. So it's really good to go over these attributes and these options that different marketplaces offer you. So it's really as direct and straightforward as this. It's simply you create the collection, you add these attributes, and then after you finish, and of course you need to decide what blockchain you're going on. This is Ethereum. You can go on Polygon as well, but now we're talking about ETH-based NFTs. And then your NFTs are there. They're minted there. You can go and see them on OpenSea. I really believe that the hurdle is more of obtaining that crypto. But to be honest, if you find someone who can help you with that, that's the only hurdle. Everything else is so easy. If you're computer literate, you're gonna be able to do it in a very short period of time. And as we were saying about these attributes, before you go and hit that create button, you have an option to add the royalty that you want when it's sold on secondary markets. And yeah, now after you finish and you review all of the information that you've submitted, then you just hit confirm, and then you confirm the minting process. And this is where you're going to have a pop-up from MetaMask saying to approve that transaction, and then you're going to be reviewing that transaction fee, gas fees, and then you click confirm to proceed. Now, it's a bit tricky with OpenSea and these marketplaces, especially with OpenSea. Like sometimes you want to mint and you find that the gas fees are so high, so don't mint. You can just mint. You need to wait. So it's a very fluctuating, complicated mathematical equation of the world of gas fees. But you need to always check and make sure that you are minting with low gas fees, because you want this to be feasible for you. If you're happy with your gas fees, hence aka transaction fee, you're gonna click confirm, and you're gonna proceed. Now, after you confirm, there's behind the scene these all mathematical equations, mathematical processes happening on the Ethereum blockchain, and it can take a few moments depending on the congestion, because sometimes you have a lot of people on that network, which causes some delays. But then once your transaction is confirmed, congratulations, you have officially minted your first NFT, and it's now stored on the blockchain. Now, once you mint it, you can manage it on within your collection on OpenSea, and you can list it for sale. You can list it for a fixed price or put it up for auction, and just people would be bidding on that digital artwork. And yeah, it's as long as you know how to specify your preferences, and you know how to promote your NFT, it's gonna be more feasible or profitable for you. And that's, NFT marketing is a whole different game. I wish we had more time to dive into that, but I don't think we do. We've already surpassed the time by 10 minutes. Um, but yeah, and as I was saying, each platform would charge certain transaction fees. For OpenSea, they charge 2.5%. And yes, thank you so much, everyone, for your attendance, and for being patient. I originally wanted to have a break between like 45 minutes, between the 45 minutes, half half. I just forgot. I was really consumed by this. And yes, thank you so much for attending.